Okay, so Dr. Martin Luther King means to me a lot because basically Africans American back then didn't have like rights or any freedom, and basically were like below everyone back then. And he fought for us to have a chance and gave us things that we couldn't have, and basically gave up his life for us. And today I feel like we should still like speak for what he stood for and like be equal towards other people, even if we don't get that same respect. Because
Martin Luther King has impacted the world in so many ways. Because if he hadn't impacted the world, racism and inequality would still be a big problem in our society. But thanks to Martin Luther King, we don't have those problems anymore. There's still discrimination in our world, but not a lot because Martin Luther King was a great role model to many people. Martin Luther King represented a good leader because he wasn't afraid to speak up for what he believed, because he knew that what he believed was the right thing. If you want love, peace, and happiness in this world, we should keep his legacy.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is important to me because what he did and what he died and what he fought for is now what we have today. Because like now I'm in a school where it is very diverse, with African Americans, whites, Hispanics, Asians, whatever. He created that for us, and what he did, he taught me like to fight what I believe in, but fight for it in a positive manner and in a way that wouldn't turn out to something that would be worse, and treat others the same no matter of skin color, race, what their beliefs are, religion, whatever. Everyone is equal and we should be treated equal. We should have the same rights, whatever. And he died and fought for African Americans so we could have the same rights and opportunities as whites. And today I don't feel like he'll be 100% happy, but he'll be happy because he did make a huge impact, and we've made great progress, but we still are not where we should be. And I feel like he would not be happy with where we are today. But, we're still blessed. He did a lot for us.
Martin Luther King has impacted many lives in many different ways, but a way he has impacted mine is by being a big role model in my life. He wasn't afraid to speak up for his opinion. His voice was heard by a big crowd of people, and that is being brave. That is something not many people are able to do. They don't have the guts to speak up for their opinion. Right now, there's a lot of discrimination and inequalities. If he were to be here, he wouldn't be proud of the world we have now or the world that has become. I believe that many people are able to speak up for their opinion and stand up for themselves, so let your voice be heard. MLK impacted our lives because now we have opportunities that we didn't have before. We now go to the same school as different types of race, and we are now really good friends with different types of race, all thanks to him.
In my personal experience, last year, right after the election, me and a group of friends walked into one of our classes, and a few peers of us decided to make a lot of racist and mean jokes about us and our race. This really affected us, and it hurt us, and it made us feel like we didn't belong there.
We can continue his legacy by talking about him more in school and remembering his message.
I feel like Martin Luther King, if he didn't do what he did in the past, I wouldn't be able to be here in the future, in a predominantly white school full of people that's not of my same ethnicity, not of my same religion, none of that. I feel as if Martin Luther King was such a large impact on everyone that not just being racial, an education for him, he's just such a huge inspiration, and I think everyone tries to aspire to be him. When I was younger, I used to live in this neighborhood with, mainly, I don't want to say white, but it wasn't really mixed, and my neighbors were really racist. And when I used to try to play with them, their parents would be like, no, you can't play with them because you're black, this and that. But I feel as if now that I'm here and I live in Waukesha, full of no one who's like me, and they actually appreciate me, I feel like we are improving as one. And I feel like we're not where we should be, but we're almost there. And if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't be able to do the things that I did today.
Martin Luther King wanted to have equal rights and freedom, and that's where he got his speech, "I Have a Dream." Martin Luther King Jr. is important to me because he is brave and he spoke out so we can go to school together and not have segregation, and it is important to keep his dream alive.
Martin Luther King is someone really important to me because he did something that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do. He made ways for people like me, African Americans and minorities, and he just made a way and gave us opportunities that we would have had and didn't have back then. And nowadays, as much as he did, things still really didn't change. Like, a lot of stuff is still the same. A lot of racism is still going on. Not a lot of equality. And I just feel like we need to really get to it and start making a change, making a difference in this world, because it's not okay.
Martin Luther King didn't only impact me, but he impacted other people. But the main part, the way he impacted me, was treating others equally, and also sticking up for something that you obviously feel is important to you, like race, stuff like that. Do I feel like he would be happy with what's going on today? Obviously not, because there's still race going on, race issues still going on, and I feel like we should all be treated equally no matter what. I feel like we should respect what he fought for and what he died for, because he, at the end of the day, he just wanted peace, and I feel like he didn't get what he deserved, and he should be more respected. Like, and his opinions and what he went for should be more respected and should be well more obviously taught. I feel like it's not taught as much as we should be learning about it, and how important he was to us, and how important he was to our country at one point as well, and how much he made a way for not only the blacks but also the Hispanics as well and other people.
Today, Dr. King has impacted my life because he's allowed me to be in a society where I can surround myself with friends and people of different races, backgrounds, religions, and identities.
One of my own experiences is protesting for immigrant families. We protest in a nonviolent way, just like Martin Luther King did. And from this, we fight for the right to be here as any other person, and also to prevent the separation of families. From his legacy, we're able to find inspiration to keep fighting for equal rights and also to embrace a society of diversity.
And thanks to his courage to stand up for others.
So how Martin Luther King has impacted me is everything that went on with him and what he taught me, and I hope taught everybody else, is just equality. Like, I've really pushed that, like, to the fullest. Like, I feel like everybody should be treated equally, like, no matter what, at any circumstances. Like, you just treat somebody how you want to be treated. And I feel like in the world today, like, he still needs to be, his legacy still needs to be pushed way more further, because the world is not the way that it should be, considering the fact that this has been years and years and years ago. My generation, kids my age, are still witnessing racism, racial slurs, and I feel like we are young, and me, at my age, nobody at my age should be witnessing none of that happened that years ago. And I feel like the reason why we're witnessing it is because his legacy hasn't been pushed enough, and it should be. We just need to be more kind to each other, and just like I said before, treat people how you want to be treated. You know, don't say things that
A great human being who was full of dignity. Dr. King had the power to make a big change in the world in a peaceful way without violence. I admire how determined he was. He impacted my life in many ways. As a colored girl, I don't get treated so equally sometimes. I get rude comments like, build the wall, stop speaking Spanish, we're in America.
but I believe that those make us stronger. I have a dream that everyone will realize that we're just humans in our own beautiful, unique way.